These are 3 quick VEX operations that I do in almost every single destruction shot. If you're a beginner in Houdini, you're going to need to know how to use VEX. That's just the truth. You can actually navigate most of Houdini without VEX, but understanding low-level VEX will make you a much more efficient artist. Here's an example. So here, I'm going to show you guys 3 of my favorite VEX operations that I use almost every scene. And in this first one right here, I want to show you how I control direction for velocity, for instance. The easiest way to do that is to actually use an add node here. Now, there's a couple of ways to put it inside of your VEX, like a get bounding box center, but this is actually a little bit more controllable and procedural. What do I mean? So if I come over here and I show you the velocity attribute here, and I take this add node where I just added this point, and I've just hit enter over my viewport, I'm going to move this around, and you'll see I'm controlling the velocity direction here with a simple expression. So here's how it works. Create an add node, create a wrangle node, source in the points into the first input, source in the add node with this singular point into the second input. And then what you want to do is write out this expression. Store the point attribute into a variable. This will only live here inside of this wrangle. Don't worry, this won't carry through your scene and bog things down. We're just going to create a PT variable that is sourced from the point attribute on the second input, demarked as 1. If you're unfamiliar, the inputs are 0, 1, 2, and 3. And we're sourcing the position attribute on point number 0. We only have 1 point, so it's going to be point 0. And now, all I have to do is create a velocity attribute, v add v, equals the position of these points, and subtract the new variable that we just created, pt, from those points. And there we have it. Completely procedural, and like I showed you earlier, we can move this around. The next most common one that I use is adding noise to this. The problem is these are very, very uniform based on the location of that attribute. What if I want to add another layer of noise? Now, commonly, if you've just started using VEX, you'll just throw in a nice little random function here, and it will work. Here's what you get. But just by adding a simple random in at ptnum, and then I throw in a +9, just a random number. This is called a seed. If I were to come in here and say 2, it would just change the pattern. And this is something that you need to start using. Don't just throw in the rand at ptnum. Otherwise, all of your noises will start to look identical and the same. But here we go. We have this randomization. But you'll notice we run into a problem. The directions are now changing. And that's because of a unique quirk of the VEX language here in Houdini. What this v is actually saying here is you have v.x, v.y, and v.z. And this random is being applied to all of those. And so it's being multiplied to whatever that base value is. So for instance, if you have a low x, you're not going to have very much of a change. But if you have a high x, you're going to have a massive amount of change based on that random return. And so this is a mistake I actually see a lot of artists make when they're just starting to use wrangles. Now, a really quick fix is right over here is to use the fit function. This is another common function that you should familiarize yourself with. And this actually fixes it by taking that random at ptnum +9 and throwing it into a fit function, and that will actually fix it. Now, this is a dirty way of fixing it. It actually creates another layer of complexity, and you actually don't need to do this. You just need to trick VEX into reading this rand as purely a float value. To do that, here's the clean way. By throwing a floats designator in front of the random, you could say float random at ptnum, and this will make sure that this return stays as a float and multiplies this v at v. The third thing I want to show you in this video is actually how to take that velocity now and turn it into speed. You can see over here I have a visualizer based on color here, and to see this a little bit better, let's actually come up and drive the amount of points we have here. Maybe we'll go even higher. There we go, 0.01, really high. Okay, now if we come here, you'll see this looks really, really noisy, and that's because of the random that we threw up here. In fact, if I come up and turn this off, you'll see we get a little bit more of a uniform color. Deep down in here, we have very dark blue particles, and up here we have these very green particles. And that's based off of the speed that we are giving our attribute. Now, if I change how this visualizer works by coming over here to the visualizer tab, right-click, and let's go ahead and hit on the edit. I'm going to lower this to, let's say, 0.5, and you'll see that we have very low velocities and now 0.5 velocities out here. How am I doing this? Well, we're creating an attribute called speed. And this is something that's very, very important to know because you sometimes don't want the vector velocity, you just want to know the speed like you're in your car looking at your odometer. And the easiest way to do that is using the length function. Here it is, length v at v. And that will return the magnitude of your velocity. That's very useful for a lot of effects downstream if you're using it for, let's say, particles or RBD destruction, and you'll see this pop up a lot. Really short video this week. I just wanted to share some really quick tips that I use in VEX, also to kind of start demystifying VEX on this channel. I want you guys to be okay using VEX, opening up a scene, and trying to solve a problem, and being okay dropping a wrangle. One of the things I notice with a lot of young artists and young Houdini students is they break out into a flop sweat the moment I drop a wrangle, and I just don't want that to be the case. Wrangles should unlock an unlimited world of possibilities for you. Let me know if this video helped you out, and if there's more VEX operations you want to explore, drop them in the comments below. I would love to make another follow-up video to this one. But with that said, I'll see you in the next one.